Intelligence isn't about the number on a report card or the letters after your name. It shows up in how you handle life when there's no guidebook and no one watching your every move. I used to equate smartness with tests and degrees until I watched my grandmother, balancing 4 kids on a teacher's salary, fixing her own car, and always knowing the right thing to say to someone in need, operate with a quiet competence that made everything around her work better, even without credentials. Real intelligence isn't just about memorizing facts or solving abstract puzzles. It's how you move through the world when you're unobserved and unscripted. Below are 9 capabilities that truly intelligent people can demonstrate without seeking help. 1. You teach yourself new skills. When I shifted from music blogging to food writing 8 years ago, there was no map handed to me. I had to learn recipe testing, food photography, and how to describe flavors so readers would actually want to try the dishes. Being able to teach yourself isn't about innate genius. It's about staying comfortable with confusion long enough to navigate through it. Smart people don't wait for instruction. They break the goal into parts, locate resources, experiment, fail, adjust, and persist. They know competence grows through practice and reflection, not merely talent. This isn't about pretending to know everything. It's about the patience and perseverance to become proficient in something that initially feels perplexing. 2. You read a room accurately. Social intelligence may be the most undervalued form of intellect. It separates those who talk at others from those who truly connect with them. Reading a room means sensing what isn't being spoken. It's noticing when a smile doesn't reach the eyes, when energy shifts after a remark, when enthusiasm is sincere versus polite. I learned this the hard way during my early vegan years, armed with factory farming statistics and the belief that data alone would persuade others. I failed to see how my intensity could push people away instead of drawing them in. Genuinely smart people can enter any social setting and quickly gauge the emotional climate. They know when to speak, when to listen, and when to let silence work its magic. 3. You manage your emotions under pressure. Intelligence without emotional control is like driving a high-powered car with no steering. You may have speed, but you lack direction. The sharpest people aren't devoid of stress or anger. They experience those feelings and still make reasonable choices. That means handling criticism without defensiveness, managing disappointment without spiraling, and staying focused on solving the problem despite frustration. When my partner and I started living together, we faced conflicting food habits in one kitchen. Early on, I resented separate cutting boards and dairy in the fridge. Learning to navigate that friction without turning it into drama was a kind of intelligence in itself. 4. You think critically about information. We are swimming in content. Each scroll reveals another headline, another so-called expert, another claim of certainty. Smart people don't absorb blindly. They scrutinize. Who benefits from this narrative, what's omitted, whether the source is credible, and whether the conclusion follows from the evidence. This isn't cynicism. It's healthy skepticism that guards against manipulation while staying open to genuinely new ideas. In my years of studying behavioral science, I've seen that even peer-reviewed studies can have biases, limitations, and flawed methods. Being able to judge information by quality rather than appeal is a major advantage. 5. You admit when you're wrong. This is often the hardest part. Egos feel fragile, and admitting error can feel like a loss. Yet intelligent people treat being wrong as data, feedback that helps recalibrate understanding for better accuracy next time. I used to go to barbecues with a rigid stance on veganism, convinced I had it all figured out. A moment when my grandmother cried at Thanksgiving made me realize my approach caused more harm than good. Owning that mistake meant changing how I spoke about the topic for years to come. People with real intelligence can look back at their past beliefs and say, "I was wrong," without letting it threaten their core identity. 6. You spot patterns others miss. Pattern recognition sits at intelligence's core. It helps you anticipate outcomes, grasp systems, and connect hidden threads. You might notice behavior at work that tends to precede layoffs, or see how mood dips align with sleep patterns. You might even perceive how a social trend links to deeper cultural shifts. In my days reviewing underground bands in Los Angeles, I learned that breakthrough isn't always about raw talent. It's about consistency, community, and understanding the ecosystem you're in. The ability to extract meaningful signal from noise and to see the structural beneath the surface chaos is a versatile form of intelligence. 7. You solve problems creatively. Intelligence isn't just about finding the right answer, it's about exploring multiple possibilities and choosing the best fit for the situation. Creative problem-solving means avoiding the obvious path and looking at challenges from different angles, blending ideas in new ways, and generating solutions that aren't in the manual. When I veganize comfort foods, I don't simply remove animal products. I analyze the role of each ingredient, texture, flavor, richness, and craft plant-based substitutes that achieve the same effect. It's a blend of science, intuition, and experimentation. This flexible thinking applies to relationships, work hurdles, and logistical puzzles. Smart people keep several options in mind and test approaches until something works. 8. You explain complex ideas simply. If you truly understand something, you can translate it so someone without your background can grasp it. This isn't about dumbing things down. It's about using the right metaphors, examples, and language to bridge what someone already knows with what you're teaching. I've spent years translating behavioral psychology for general audiences. The goal isn't to show off knowledge, but to transform research into stories and insights that resonate with people who aren't academics. Some say Einstein proclaimed that if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough. In essence, that captures a core aspect of intelligence, the ability to communicate clearly as well as to think clearly. 9. You stay focused on long-term goals. Intelligence without discipline is potential without results. The capability to keep sight of what matters over months and years, despite distractions and setbacks, separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. That means delaying gratification, making less glamorous but necessary choices, and continuing toward a goal even when initial excitement fades. Building a freelance writing career didn't hinge on a single brilliant article. It grew from showing up consistently, refining craft over years, cultivating relationships, and persisting when progress felt invisible. Intelligent people understand that meaningful achievements require sustained effort over time. They balance long-term vision with the practical realities of today. Conclusion: intelligence isn't fixed. Most of these skills can be developed if you're willing to face discomfort, make mistakes, and keep learning. The most impressive people I know aren't necessarily those with the highest IQs or the most prestigious degrees. They're the ones who can navigate complexity, regulate themselves, connect with others, and continually grow. If you see yourself in several of these traits, you're probably more intelligent than you realize. If not, view this as a practical roadmap for growth. Ultimately, intelligence is less about innate gifts and more about what you choose to do with them. What's your plant-powered archetype? Interested in discovering your everyday habits' deeper purpose and how they ripple outward to impact the planet? Take this brief 90-second quiz to uncover your plant-powered role and the small shift that amplifies its impact. It asks 12 quick questions and gives instant, surprisingly accurate results.